AAI log in, user login. Oh. User login. There we go. Could have swore that was AAI login. Did that change recently?
Nope, it's always been AAI user login.
Really?
Yep.
Well, then my notes are wrong. Let's see if that's correct. All right, bunch of green check marks. I'm logged in. Here we go. Now, we are going to be doing some object detection today. So the very first thing I want to do is get starter apps. And I know that you used the dashboard in your introductory demo. Yeah. I'm going about this a little bit differently. Again, in the name of Hacky Hour, I'm going to pull down the Always AI starter apps locally. And where did I place them? Oh, I was in the root directory. That's fine. Okay, so now I just grabbed a whole bunch of projects that I can run. We're going to work on a Jetson Nano today, and I want to do object detection. So I'm going to go into here, this NVIDIA what was it? No. NVIDIA real-time object detector. So you guys have already built out, looks like about 12 or 14 ready to run projects. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to wrap a little bit of code around this to get it to run in Balena's world. So now I pulled down those sample apps. Here they are. You can see there's age, gender, there's real sense, there's facial detector, pose estimator is in there as well. This one here though, let's have a look at. We've got already created everything I need, including an engine.dnn_CUDA and an accelerator NVIDIA FP16. So you've already set those variables right there for me in this application. Those can be changed, but I'm going to leave them alone. And I see you're using YOLO v3. Now there's one more step. We don't have the models here yet. And because I have not actually, because I have not actually set up like a Python virtual environment or anything here, I am going to do, what is it, _home. I'm going to need to set this to my present working directory. And I'm going to do that same AAI app install that you ran earlier as well. And what's going to happen here? Absolute path of your Always AI desktop. Hold on a minute. I thought that should work. Always AI_home equals pwd AAI app install. That should have this command. Always AI home is set in your environment to the absolute bad. We may have to do a Python setup after all. I actually thought that that would have pulled down the model for me. Let's see here. What do you think, Lila? Awake?
Sorry, go ahead. Come on. What?
I was going to say, maybe you need to install the model separately when you use the starter apps.
Yeah, usually if you run AI app install, it will pull down the model and build the virtual environment for you. If you don't have the Always AI home, I think it's set by default, but you can change it. I don't know if that command you were running, you might need to run as like the first command and then the second command, like an and, but I haven't tried that before, so I'm not.
Well, let's find out.
AB has a thought here. Let's see. Hey, AB.
Oh, configure. Yeah, you can configure.
Yeah, configure. You just need to configure it first. Yeah.
There you go. Thanks, AB.
Oh, lifesaver, lifesaver.
Rescue every time.
Could have swore I did this the other day just fine.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
Thank
am
you.
I?
Yeah.
Why am I not? Select from list of projects or create a new project. Object detector. Oops. Well, create new device. Device we will call Nano. Create it now. Yep. Host name. Oh, it's going to try to deploy to it. All right, hang on a minute. I'm going to bail out of this. Let me think for a moment. Why are we
just want
not
the model? Is that what?
Yeah.
I see. And you want it in the virtual environment, or you want it in just the JSON file?
So
well, it should pull down. Hang on a minute. I want to
Dave,
try one more time.
Just do configure. Just do configure, and
sorry. Let me try one more thing here, only because.
Yeah, if you do configure it, it will build the image on the device.
Just select local computer, and then it will pull the models as well.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Live debugging.
Configure.
Live debugging. Oops.
Yeah.
Just configure instead of install. Just make it configure, and it should be okay.
We'll do local. You're right. All right, that's what I needed. Oddly enough, this worked on Tuesday when I did this, so I have to wonder what changed between Tuesday and Thursday.
Let's do the fresh install.
Yeah. Do local. Oh, no Docker.
You don't have Docker. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? Let me think for a moment. We can actually work around this with, live debugging. You're right about that, though. Let's do a sudo apt install. What is it? Docker CE, is that right?
No, just type Docker. Just type Docker, and it will tell you. No.
Well, I don't have it installed though.
No, yeah, but it will give you a suggestion. Just type Docker. Yeah, I think it's docker.io or something, docker-io or something. Just.
Let's see here. Nope. Okay.
Just type Docker. And it will tell you, snap. Snap. And so docker.io. Yeah.
Docker.io. There we go.
So,
oh boy. All right.
We have sorry, David, just a second. I just want to summarize for a couple people who joined a little bit later. So Javier, we're installing the application that we will be deploying on multiple Jetson devices. So David is currently debugging.
Live hacking.
And we're preparing to basically deploy to David's Jetson device, and then you will see how it'll look deployed to Lila's Jetson device. Hope that was a helpful summary. All right, continue, David. Thank you.
Okay. Failed to run Docker. BusyBox. What is happening here today? Oh my goodness. Well, we may have to skip this step. Yep, still no models there. I knew I shouldn't have nuked my previous VM and started over. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. If this was cooperating, what I would get here is going to be one new folder called models. And in that folder would be MobileNet, SSD, or YOLO in this particular case, with, you know, the pre-trained, ready to go, always AI bundle. So sudo user mod, yep. All right, good point, AB. Sudo user mod AG Docker David. Although, have to wonder if I have to log out and log in. Yeah, I have to log out, log in. All right, I don't necessarily want to do that. But, so with that said, I would have the models here locally. The next step would be this. I'm still going to show it. You've also got a ready-made Docker file here. Now, I'm going to pull out that first. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, sorry, for Jetsons, you can run sudo usermod space dash a, lowercase a, uppercase G, Docker, and then $ uppercase user. I'll post it to you. I think that might get around the busy box.
Well, $ user is going to be me. Yeah. But I'm fairly certain you have to log out.
Yeah, I think you have to close your terminal screen and open it back up. I think.
Let's give
No,
that.
You're right. You might have to reboot. But sorry.
No, that's all right.
Now, since I've done Jetson stuff,
yeah.
I know I've seen that before. I think.
Yeah, it's okay. But ultimately, what I really need is this, and I'll talk about why. So you have pre-populated there a Docker file. And hey, copy, come on, get in there. Paste. No, we're not pasting today either, really? All right, fine. We'll type it in. You can see it there. So that Docker file right there from alwaysAI/EdgeIQ, Nano, and then I'm using version 14.2, 0.14.2. Then I'm going to set a work directory of /user/source. I'm copying in all of the contents of my local directory, copy ... space ... and then the command I want to run is python3 app.python, which we showed a moment ago over here. So basically what that would do is fire off a command now to the Balena Cloud builders with those 4 instructions. That is the recipe that it would then follow. And the Balena Cloud builders would take that, bundle up the container, build and bundle the container, and then push it to all of the devices in the fleet. Now, without this cooperating, I'm not going to be able to show the build live, but the command would be this. And we can still go over to the fleet itself. And we'll have a look at that in just a moment. Actually, out of curiosity, now that I've closed it, let's just see if the terminal itself is enough to... Do you want to create it? Yeah. Oh, wait. Back into the directory. Always AI starter apps, NVIDIA real time. Let's just see what happens here. Nope, have to reboot. Okay, no worries. But a simple Balena push and then an application name would take the contents here of the Docker file and everything in the directory. Like I say, push it up to the cloud, run the build, and then down to the devices. So I guess we're not going to be showing that off. I didn't sacrifice the right animal today for the demo gods, but that's all right. Fortunately, I've already pre-pushed one of these, and Lila, you have one running as well. So let's drop out of here. Oh, go ahead, Kamal.
Is it okay if we, AB would like to say something?
Yeah.
Hey, AB. Are you on?
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hi, Dave. In case if you don't want to do a logout or a reboot, right? So so that's like a post instruction. It will add the Docker command to run as a user mode. It adds you in that group. So your user gets added into a Docker group so that it can run Docker commands without sudo. And I think always AI tooling needs that to do that. Another thing is if you don't want to do a restart or reboot, or now you're doing it.
Yeah, do it anyway. It's fine because we're going to make a switch over to the dashboard. But go on, I'm listening.
And the other thing I think you can try to do is like if you do a remote, so if you have your Always AI on your local laptop, you can do a remote deployment on your VM. You can just set up a host networking there in your VirtualBox. That way you can use 56.101 or 56.102, that kind of a thing as well. So that way you can do remote deployment. The model will be there sitting on the in the workspace, which will be selected in the obviously. That way also you can work around on that. So yeah, pretty 2-3 solutions for you.
Yeah, the good old reboot is solution number one that we're going to attempt, but that's okay.
Reboot always works.
Yeah, reboot 3 times and see what happens. Yeah, I'm mad though that I nuked my previous VM. I should have known better. I should have just kept it because I did this entire demo. I built it on Tuesday, right? And okay, everything works great.
No,
now nuke it and we'll.
I think it's a good. No, it's not bad as well, because sometimes all the users who might be trying, they may be doing a fresh install, and these are the kind of problems they will definitely have. Like Docker is not pre-installed and all that stuff. So it's not bad actually. It's like a learnings for the development community, I think.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to see, some of the issues people might run into over time, like be it reinstalling something new. So it's always good to and sorry, David, that it just happened to you on demo day.
Oh, of course. That's all right. Story of my life.
It's good to see that walkthrough of, okay, how might one solve this problem? So
yeah.
AB, this is great. Thank you so much for.
Yeah, thanks, AB.
At all. Like I really never trust, as I said earlier as well, I never trust when my code compiles in the first go and runs. I know it's going to break. Yeah. It's going to break very badly.
It worked great. It was lovely. I was like, oh, great. No problem. Nuked that one. We'll do it live on Thursday. Go figure.
Oh, yeah. No problem at all. Yeah. Okay.
So let's give this one more try. And if not, it's okay. We can skip forward to the next piece of the puzzle anyways. Let's see. Let's get further.
Promising.
Got further. Configure then install. I don't think we still don't have that model, do we?
Yeah, you have to install, and that will pull the models down to where you've configured it to and build the environment. So it does take a teensy bit longer the first time because it builds the Docker container, but I don't think it should take too long.
We'll let it run. That's okay. Report a problem. Ubuntu is ready. That's the problem? Report no problem. We'll let that go for a little bit. Files has closed unexpectedly. Doesn't look like it closed. My VM is having some real trouble today. All right, so no matter what though, while we've been working over there in that VM, really what I need to do is I've got this Jetson on my desk, and let's see if I change my camera. All right, there it is. I've got a Jetson Nano, and I've got a USB camera hooked up to it. Balena does not actually use Jetpack or the NVIDIA distribution of Ubuntu that they package up and make available. Balena devices run Balena OS, and the concept is based around applications and devices. So I'll give you a quick glance here. You can see in my dashboard, I have lots of different applications. That's how we segment out what the workload is that the device is supposed to be running. So you can see I have Open Data Cam. I have some ROS demos, Rosetta at home. I've got, let me see what else is in here. I've got a Wi-Fi repeater, Super Sims. So the point is this. I know that I'm going to be deploying an application for object detection. Let's call it AAI Object Hacky Hour, something like that. And I choose a device type. Now I already know that I'm going to be using an NVIDIA Jetson Nano, but you can see there's lots of other device types available as well. You can, Raspberry Pis, Nano Pis, different types of the Jetson series. So if you're using a TX1, a TX2, Xavier, NX, there's also different carrier boards that are produced for the SOMs. Those are in here as well. There's the Pis, but we'll stick with the Jetson Nano. That's what we're using today. And you choose an application type. Microservices just happens to be one that supports multiple containers. We don't even need that today, but the point is we're going to create an application. Now, an application, like I said, is really intended to be the workload. So don't have any devices yet. The very first thing you need to do is add a device. And it comes back up with something we already saw, which is what type of a device. Previously, we just selected the default type of device, but we're going to leave it on Jetson Nano. We already know that. I'm going to flip it over to development mode just so I can SSH to it in case of emergency today. Production would not allow for console over serial. It would allow for SSH through Balena Cloud, but and you can add your Wi-Fi credentials as well. We do not store your Wi-Fi credentials here. These are being passed through to the OS builder. And the bottom button here, download Balena OS, will generate literally on the fly an OS image, download it locally, and then you flash it to your SD card. So I have Etcher already running, and I have an SD card in my laptop. I'm going to flash from file. And what did I just download? That one right there, object-HH. This operating system, like I said, is not the Ubuntu distribution that that NVIDIA provides. We build our own OSs. They're based on Yocto, which is a minimal operating system that's not in there actually. Come on. Oops, there it goes. Didn't have the SD card actually in the slot. And flash.
So we have a question here. First of all, there's a comment that says love for Etcher. And the question is, what's the difference between EMC and micro SD card variant for the Xavier type? And it says, I understand what EMC means, but I want to know what's the difference in the image.
The difference in the The difference in the image is the way in which we create it. Finally, our models directory is there. Hooray! We might be able to do this after all. So apologize. The eMMC image treats the device a little bit differently. When you download it to your machine, you will still flash it to an SD card and then insert the SD card into the Nano. When you power it on, it's going to read the contents of the SD card and automatically flash over to the eMMC. So you're going to nuke your device when you do that. I shouldn't say nuke. You're going to overwrite the contents of whatever is on it. But the point is this, then you eject the SD card, and on your next boot, you will just boot from the onboard eMMC. That's actually I would say, superior method or a superior setup, in that SD cards are not the most reliable. For those of you who have ever, trashed SD cards, they stop reading and writing. Heavy read-write operations on Raspberry Pis will tend to kill them as well. So I promise you, do not buy cheap SD cards if you're going to deploy IoT devices out into the real world. So eMMC image is treated differently in how it boots or what happens. The SD card image, like I just downloaded, you stick it into the Jetson Nano, it's going to live on that SD card. Okay, so I've got my SD card done. Flash is complete. I have it in my hand. I would normally at this point place it in to, I just realized the camera was still on the Jetson Nano. I apologize. I would normally stick it in and power on, and you would see a device come online. But in the sake of time savings, again, I've actually already done that on Tuesday and got one running. And I've also added Lila's to it as well. So I want to, I suppose, reverse gears a little bit and come back here real quick to cover that territory that we missed earlier. So after all that fighting, thank you, AB, we have all the bits and pieces we actually need here. So I have, let's see here. I don't need these two files because they came after the fact. Only alwaysAI app.json came. I don't need the VENV. I do need the Docker file though. And earlier, my copy paste was not working here. Let's see, that would be why. So let's do this. Copy, paste. There we go. Now we have everything we need. This container is ready to go. We've got models, we've got app.python, and we've got a valid Docker file. Balena push. What did we call that? AAI-object-HH. Probably should have named that a little bit better. And it's going to start going through the process of uploading everything in our local directory here that we are in to the cloud to be built. We would see it show up in here in just a moment after it's done thinking about this. I'm going to let that run, but since I knew this was going to take some time, that's why I pre-populated way down here at the bottom, hidden out of the way, this project already running. with this Nano on my desk, Lila's Nano on her desk. I'm in Phoenix. She's in San Diego. I was hoping to have one sent up to Seattle to also show, but I still have my camera on that thing. I apologize.
Yeah.
Should have told me to switch it back. That's okay. They didn't make it to Seattle. It's still right here. But that's actually a good talking point. Now, I've got this miniature fleet built, 3 of them deployed, 4 more to go. The point is I can now send these out to wherever the destination is that they need to end up, whether that is on the side of an oil rig, whether that is in some sort of robot, autonomous vehicle, you know, agricultural uses, anytime you need to do object detection, logistics, machinery, factory floor, whatever. So long as the devices have internet connectivity, they're going to come online, they're going to check into Balena Cloud, and Balena Cloud is going to say, here is the workload that you are supposed to be running. These steps are being built back here, just so we can take a quick glance at this. It's basically performing the 4 steps that were the recipe, more or less, that are the that is the Docker file. So in the meantime, though, let's look at one that's already running. I'm going to restart it.
So David, we have a question here. Does this work with Rufus? And I think he's referring to flashing the SD card.
Yeah, I used Etcher, but it doesn't really matter. Rufus would work fine. All I did was flash an SD card. And so I've got my device details here. I can come back over here. I can see Lila's device as well. I'm going to restart her container as well.
The whole process, I have to say, from not even having a Balena account to having this up and running, aside from the fact that my like SD card slot was malfunctioning for a little bit, I would say like actual time took maybe 10 minutes to get signed up, download the image and flash it, and then you know, it took a while to boot it back up once you put the SD card back in and plugged it in, but that's just, you know, it's just sitting there. Yeah, I didn't have to do anything, and then eventually it comes online, like, you know, not
there
magic, but like
so
magic.
the container, so that container is built. It's 5.3 gigs, and it has all of the Always AI code, models, tooling, all built in. Because remember, I pulled from Always AI, Edge IQ, I pulled Nano 14.2. There's other device types available. This is the Always AI Docker Hub. This is not a Balena. You can pull containers from anywhere. I'm using Always AI today, obviously. You know, and I noticed actually that there's an update. There's a Nano 15. I was going to test that, but unfortunately didn't make it to it. But I think that might actually resolve an issue I've been having. But the point is this. This Always AI object detector is now running. My local IP address is right here. I'm going to open a new tab, and let's see what that Nano sees. Okay, hang on a minute. Now my frame rate is not wonderful here over Zoom, but this thing is working. So I like to test with toys I grab out of the kids' room. And let me come back real quick to your see. So it died on me again. So I have some kind of an issue here that I think upgrading might resolve. I'm going to restart mine real fast. And I'm going to try to actually, oh, the one time I have the camera on me instead of the Nano. And I'm also looking at the clock. I promise, Kamal.
That's okay.
We're down to 10 minutes. But let's see. Come on. Demo gods are not with me today. That's all right. It's running. Lila, I want to see something on yours. Are you able to pull up, because yours is running nice and strong. I have to wonder if it's my SD card beginning to die. Are you able to go to,
let's see,
on your local LAN, can you go in your browser to 192.168.1.12:5000?
It's not. Do I have to do anything else? It doesn't want to. Oh, maybe no, that should work.
You should be able to go to.
And Lila, you can
Oh, there it goes. It's back.
You can also share your screen, Lila. If
Yeah, it says it can't open it. It's weird. I can definitely see the device running. The webcam is on. So I'm just trying to see.
So
maybe it's 1 second. Maybe it's a proxy issue. I don't know why it wouldn't just run.
So we actually have a couple of really good questions from our community. So the first one is, can we set up to push out once to all endpoints with mixed hardware, so you can have one that's Nano, one that's Raspberry Pi, or is it a separate step for each type of hardware?
Nope. So he's got, so that's a great question. 2 points to make there, and that really is actually the beauty of this now. Even with all of my hiccups along the way, you can see that it's running, right? Okay. I have 3 devices here on my screen. They all happen to be Jetson Nanos, but I can also add a device, choose a different type. Let's say it's a TX2. Download the OS, which will get generated on the fly. Then flash that SD card, pop it into my TX2, and when that TX2 powers on, it will join my fleet as device number 4 in my list. So you can start to mix and match for separation of workload. You might want to think about doing different applications, excuse me. But you can, like I say, you can add more and more devices, and they can be of different types. So hopefully, I think that covers it. Now, the next piece or last piece of the puzzle is this. What was the name of this application? I don't know if I really want to do a push to it. Oh, go ahead, Kamal. And I'm going to bring my camera back on me as well now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so there's another question.
Mm-hmm.
Does Balena Cloud get involved with IP bonding services for RTSP on ONVIF service resolution?
Yeesh. I'm not sure I understand fully what that question is. So my default answer is going to be no, because I've never heard of it. I don't know exactly what it is. I think, IP bonding, I think really means like, if I understand it correctly, it's a matter of like multiple connections into a device. So, I'm on Wi-Fi here. Obviously, this thing has Ethernet. It's got 40-pin header. You can run it on cellular. I have a cellular hat with a Twilio SIM card. This will work as well. Keep in mind, that's a 5 gig container in this particular case. You don't necessarily want to run that over a 2G or 3G connection if you're really, really far out there for like wildlife detection. But that's actually the last talking point. So Kamal, I don't know if that answers the question, if the user wants to maybe clarify, but I kind of feel like the default is no, there's no like real magical bonding or anything going on. Don't really support that.
So RTSP is real-time streaming protocol, it seems. Not sure if you're, and then he said ONVIF is a standard for security camera streaming and analytics control.
Gotcha. So that kind of stuff really would be up to the fleet owner, whatever that application really is. So like, let's say you are a manufacturer and you're using these you know, on your manufacturing line, as the assembly line is rolling by, the customer builds their own applications in the Balena world. We're providing the platform and the management layer and the OS, but the containers are built and scripted by the customer. So if including RTSP or I apologize, but I don't even know that other acronym. You know, if that is all built into the container and it can run in a container, and you know those endpoints can broadcast in that manner, then yes, that would work. Can't say that I've ever tried that, but point being, the application is built by the customer, and as long as it can run in a container, it'll be fine.
Sweet. Well, I hope that answers your question, Dale. And I think AB has a question as well. Hey.
No, I think I do not have a question, but I just wanted to add a point there. So about the question from Philip, right? So he asked about like multiple devices. So the one part which already David has answered. The another part, I think what he meant is that if in a fleet he has Nano, Raspberry Pi, say some other devices as well like TX2, as long as the application image, so he wants to do a push once and automatically gets deployed on each of the, as long as the application supports all these three boards, is written such a way that it runs on these boards. If there's no compatibility issues, then that one push can deploy it on all three. However, if the application is not, is having some bindings with the hardware, like for example, CUDA, if this uses CUDA, for example, in this application, this image will not run on Raspberry Pi. So, so that we have to take care when we create fleets. So that's what I wanted to add a point there. And the second thing about the ONF and the real-time IP binding thing, I think if we use the feature of the public URL, the tunneling thing, I think as long if you want to access that camera or log into that camera, is that the question? I did not quite get the question as well, but if that is that, then you can use the public URL feature from Balena and then also log in to see what's going on there as well from remotely, because it's a security camera standard in case you want to go to that.
So yeah, there's ways to transverse. I mean, these devices are connected via a VPN to Balena Cloud. That's exactly how the command and control system works. When a device comes online, it checks in with Balena Cloud. Balena Cloud says, hey, welcome to the party. You're supposed to be running this workload. Here you go, and pushes the container down to the device. So, you know, there are, through the Balena tooling, there are ways to interact with some of that. You can certainly expose devices through this right here, which is called public device URL, which will allow it to be seen on the internet. Actually, we'll flip that on real quick. And what it will do is, let me copy and paste.
Yeah,
so there's nothing running on in this particular case, but you can see the URL is the host id.balenadevices.com. So you can
I think if you do 5,000 port number 5,000, you will see the Always AI app running on that.
In this case, it will not.
Because we have not exposed in the Docker file.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It won't on this one. Only 80 is exposed at the moment. But you'd need like Nginx or some sort of proxy port 5000 back to 80 for that to work. But that's part of the beauty of it, right? So what you can do now is continue to push updates out to the fleet. We're running out of time, and it's unfortunately, I don't think we'll have time for it. But as your model improves, I mean, we're talking about computer vision here today, but or as your application improves, you can continue to push that out to your devices out in the field. And what it actually does is creates a binary diff. So the container we saw was 5.39 gigs. And that's why this next push is actually taking a while here. It says still working, and it's pulling previous image for caching purposes. I made a change while we were having a chat, and I injected a new line here. I added apt update, apt install nano, simple text editor, no big deal. So I think we're probably going to run out of time before this works, but what it's doing.
Don't worry about the time. I think.
Well, I mean, it might take a while anyway, but so the point is this. I'm modifying my container, and I made a simple change to it, but in the case of new and improved model or, new and improved capability in your application, what'll happen here is this. It takes a look at the old container, takes a look at the new container, well, builds the new container, and then we'll do a binary diff on just what has changed, and we'll push down just that change to all of the devices that are in the fleet. So 3 devices are going to receive this update that I just made, adding nano. I mean, simple change, but any device is going to receive that. Because remember, again, these devices are all checked in and waiting with open arms for whatever workload they're supposed to be running. And there's some framework in place there for controlling that and versioning that as well. But in this particular example and demo, we didn't really set any of that. So the point is this: I just added a line to this Docker file. It's going to go to Lila's device, whether she likes it or not. She's about to get Nano installed. Now, I don't know if she's a Vim user or Emacs or whatever, but she's getting a container with, with the best text editor there is, Nano. So, and again, like I said, I've got 4 more of them, right? So especially if these are out in the field and these are in hard to reach areas with, less than stellar connectivity, call it 3G or something like that. I don't want to push 5.39 gigs if I don't have to, because that's going to get expensive and it's going to be time consuming. So it's better to just let the cloud builder figure out what has changed and push down. In this particular case, it'll probably end up like 4 or 5 megs worth of difference, and just that will get sent down to the devices. So honestly, I think that about covers it though. Kamal, are there more questions rolling in? Like I said, I can't quite see them. Yeah,
one more here. Yeah. Does it work with the Cade's Edge?
That's a Cade's Edge. That is a particular board type. It does not. We have, I want to say, about 40 to 50 boards. This list right here is not fully complete because I have chosen, actually, let's come back to here. If we create a new application, we'll get the full list. So you can see Tinkerboard, Balena Fin, Banana Pie, Beagle Board, or Beagle Bone, Black Green, Green Wireless. Codis is not in here. Intel Nooks are very popular as well. The Codis Edge, I forget what SoC is on that. It might be a rock chip. But Balena OS is actually open source. Most of the components are, in fact, for that matter. And these are built on Yocto. Yocto is the underlying or upstream base image that we build upon. So it is actually totally possible to go build your own Balena OS for a device. Try to think if I have Meta 96 board. No, these are, well, so basically you need, as long as there's a Yocto BSP for it, it'll, you know, it can be ported. Let's get to the right repo. Yeah, Balena OS, Balena Raspberry Pi. So once you're in the Balena OS repo, you can then see, here's how we build our Jetson images, Intel images, CompuLab, there's the Pi. Verisite MX8 is another rather enterprise grade type of a board. So the point is it's all open source. You can port to it.
Sweet. And then, yeah, you were right that it is a rock chip. And Steve called it a rocket chip.
Rock chip RK3399 probably.
And then AB has also identified the GitHub repo for the Balena rocket chip. So I'm going to paste that.
Yep. And I've ported some boards using that code, so I know it works. Sweet. What is this thing doing over here? Oh, it just grabbed, it's looking for nano. And we might actually end up getting to see. Hold on a minute. The upload might take yet another little while. There we go. Step 5, python.app. We'll see what the binary diff is. By adding a whole new layer, let's see. We might close out the stream lucky after a rough start. Let's see. But in the end, we got it working.
Fingers.
Any other questions rolling in, Kamal?
No, I don't see any other questions, but this, I guess this can be a cue for us asking for questions. So does anyone have any questions? Feel free to raise your hand, use the Q&A. No? So nothing yet.
Then if not, then we might just see what the final delta is and be able to close it out. Oh, 5.4 gigs. Did I change? Hold on a minute. What did I do here? I did something wrong. Oh, wait a minute. I think which one did which Docker file did I add to? Well, that might have been the wrong Docker file. That I may have just rebuilt the entire. Well, I don't know what went awry there. I don't think I updated that. Well, I guess we'll end on a low note, but
still a good note.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. I was hoping to see
you can update stuff in general.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with this workflow, you know, there's teams and projects. Your team member can change something about the app. You can pull down a new version. You can pull in a new version of your model or a different model. Yeah, it's very useful for Always AI users for sure.
Yeah, definitely. You can continue to add devices, send them out into the field, do your updates on them. There's safety in the root partition that's underneath of all this. Like I said, we built on Yocto, and then there's A and B partitions because you can update the underlying host operating system as well. You want to do your workload in a container. That's the whole point. But You can in fact upgrade the OS in and of itself. And it's got A/B partitions. So, you can always roll back. You can roll back your container versions if things don't go the way you expected. So it gives you a lot of flexibility for devices out in the field. I think we got it all. I wanted to see yours detect something, Lila, but that's all right.
I don't know what the problem is. It says it's like on Chrome, it says something like maybe check a proxy, but I don't have any proxies set. And on Safari, it says that the server is busy. So I don't know if I'm doing something funny.
Go to http://192.168.1.12:5000 in. I'm restarting the container though, so it might take 1 second.
Oh, that worked. It was probably trying to use HTTPS, or maybe it wasn't using the right port. So I can see Always AI. Here, I'll share my screen in case it does.
Refresh it.
Pop up.
No, did it die on you?
See, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I think
it's still starting up. Yeah, it's all right.
It's okay.
Don't worry about it.
But you saw the Always AI there, so at least
it's coming. It's coming. It's just starting back up right now. I can because I'm looking at the. All right, hang on. Refresh.
Aha. Okay.
Aha.
So
cell phone. Yeah, we end on a high note. It detected a cell phone.
In person.
Yeah.
There you go.
All
Not
right.
bad. Yeah, we were wondering what I could possibly put in front of my camera because I don't have any cool little toys like David. But I did have a cell phone, and it did.
I saw it. It said cell phone. It's not catching it now.
It caught the chair too. I think it's just slow,
Yeah.
The Wi-Fi is very strained.
It's all right.
Wait. Come on. You can do it. Cell phone.
No.
Cell phone.
There. I see it.
Yeah. Or a laptop.
Come on, on the stream. End it.
Train your own model. Train your own cell phone detection model.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now is a good time to remind everybody about the model training challenge. Please do. We want to see what you can do with your data sets, with the new training toolkit. If you guys saw on Discord, we also have an email announcement that will go out. The model team has put out a lot of new features. Let's see, you can create a data set. So you can set like the train val ratio and resize your images. You can add data sets together. And then once you've done that, you can use it again and again. We're using epochs now, epochs. Sorry, we've always debated how to say that instead of steps. That's a bit of a change. No need to type in your labels. Now they're automatically detected. You don't have to type in your username. That is automatically detected. So even if you forget to put in a name for your model, we will generate a fun phrase for you. And then you're going to have to look up, it'll say, hey, we generated this model. It's got a funny name, and then you'll have to use that name going forward. But it's a lot easier to use. So please go out. If you already have the new installers, it will just detect that there's an update and ask if you want to install the update. So that's another cool feature of the new installers that you don't have to get that warning anymore. And now you can just automatically pull updates. So anyways, hopefully you guys have a lot more fun with the new retraining toolkit, and you can go retrain some models and then show us what you're doing. Hashtags always training on the social media. Come on, I forget anything else.
Yep, and tag us with your GitHub URL and potentially use Balena to deploy on multiple devices. So
yeah, bonus points if you use Balena.
Yeah, bonus points. Well, if anybody does, certainly just let me know, ping me. I'll be happy to rebroadcast that.
Yes, amazing. And so thank you so much for joining, everyone. Don't forget, we are hosting a webinar on the 1st of December. Computer vision is changing the world, and you can come and find out how. And look at some of the amazing applications our users have created using Always AI and what are the ways in which those applications are changing the world. So definitely join us December 1st. I'm going to post the link and then send that out as well. So you're going to be reminded, and hopefully you've all signed up already. So next week we will not do a hacky hour it's Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving to everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of our community.
Yeah.
Super happy to have you here.
Yes, we're thankful for you.
Yes, we're super thankful for David for joining us and doing hacky hour with us. Thankful.
No problem. I love doing it. I love it.
Yeah.
I was so excited when you said, "Hey, would you want to come back?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely."
I thought you'd never ask.
I didn't know I was good enough to get a second invite.
Hey, you might get a third one now because
Yes.
people are going to be like, let's see how it works on multiple devices, different types.
Yeah.
Good.
That's a
We
good point.
totally
Yeah,
could.
maybe we can think of some fun use cases like different app updates, different model updates, any other type of updates. That would be good to try.
Yep. Just let me know.
Yep. And we'll make all the necessary sacrifices needed to the demigods beforehand.
Oh man.
It'll be much
I
more
should have known. I should have known better.
And thankful for my colleague Lila for always providing us with amazing solutions. Thank you for our community.
Thankful for AB.
Yeah,
For him.
this is a
Yeah.
real star of the show.
Thankful for
First star
Kamar
of
for
the
just
show.
hosting so well. Yes, we made it through.
So yes, no hacky hour next week, guys, but we're going to pick right back up on December 3rd with a special guest, David Dodds, who's going to show us some really interesting things that he's done with Always AI. So definitely come check us out for that. Starting the 10th and the 17th, we're going to do a multi-part model training series on how to identify a package on your doorstep. So if you want to come find out, register for that one. Final announcement, starting the 10th, we're going to move hacky hours to 10:30 a.m. So some of our friends from other parts of the world can join as well. So look out for that. And all the updates will be sent via email. And yeah, thanks so much for joining. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy holidays, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.